Hey guys, Ellie Shostak here. Hope you are doing well. Hope you are safe and hope you are enjoying the day. So, for those of you who do not know, I'm a relationship coach. I help those who are single, those who are divorced, those who have just come out of a recent breakup, and those who are just looking to find, date, and maintain a healthy, loving relationship. That is what I do all day, every day, is help people get into incredible, amazing relationships. So there was a documentary on ESPN that talked about the life of Bruce Lee. Okay, so I'm wearing my Bruce Lee t-shirt, which I had way before the documentary. Always was a big fan of his, specifically his philosophy of be like water. So what I want to do is I want to take that approach and I want to explain to you how that concept can help you in your relationships. Not only dating, but also actually maintaining a healthy, loving relationship. Okay? So, first, if you take a look at water, you see that it can be heated, it can be frozen, and it could even dissipate, right? What's really cool about it is that it can change its form, yet it's the lifeblood of who we are as human beings. 98% of the human body is made up of water. I think that that's a fact. But if it's not a fact, then there's definitely a lot of water flowing through our bodies. And that's why we as people, as human beings, we're very attracted to the sea and going to the beach and looking at the ocean and seeing the waves and seeing the depths of uh, this massive, powerful force. Okay? So, the way that he viewed water, right, and life and people is that when you are fighting someone in karate, right, and you come at me with a fist and I come at you with a fist, we both break our hands. So he wasn't sure how to move forward with his approach and teaching. And one day he was on a boat and he punched the water very, very hard. And the water enveloped his hand. And what he realized is that here, water can break through rocks, yet water is also the softest of all forms. It can completely surround you and envelop you, right? So he goes ahead and realizes that in his fighting style in karate, if you're like water and you come at me with a fist, instead of me coming back at you, you simply move around. It's almost like ballet, right? You let the fist go past you, and then you can use the pressure and the power to actually hurt the person who you're fighting with. But if we don't view water as a fighting mechanism, if we view it as a relating mechanism, the concept can truly transform your dating life and relationships. So let me explain, okay? What happens often in our lives is we go ahead and we see that people whom we date and people who we are in a relationship with, their minds, okay, often get clouded as to who they are. This is my identity. This is what I believe in. This is who I am. And when they feel that you don't agree with how they think about life, okay? And I'll give you just a real basic example, but obviously you can take this example to the extreme. But let's just say the person whom you're dating with loves art, okay? And you don't particularly have a thing for art. So they're like, oh, look at this painting. Isn't it beautiful? Isn't it amazing? And your mind right away is like, who cares? And if you are not aware, right, that this is something that is valuable and important to this person, you might just say, like, whatever, right? Now, this person, when they hear that whatever, their mind can work in one of two ways. Either they can say, well, he doesn't agree with me, she doesn't agree with me, so that's it. They're never going to get me. They're never going to understand me, right? Okay? they're never going to understand who I am or what I like or what I love. So they're not for me, right? So for me, one of the things when I was dating and I was single, for those of you who don't know, for 11 years and went through some very difficult breakups and almost engagements, and then I got into a relationship with my wonderful partner in crime, not actual crime, Brooke. So for those of you who don't know, but I have a little bit of a sense of humor. And in my brain, she didn't laugh so much at my jokes. Still doesn't. But so originally, my brain was like, oh, she doesn't get me, right? So if you view yourself like water, right? Water can have waves to it. It's almost like the mind, right? And you look at those waves and you sometimes get scared when that opinion, that thought comes into your brain. And you're like, she's not for me. He's not for me because they're different. We're too different, right? So being like actual water is realizing that deep down, like 10, 20 feet underneath those waves, is stillness. That's what really connects you to this other person, is that place of stillness, that place of power, right? That's the common bond. And another thing that Bruce Lee said in this documentary is like, under the stars, we're all the same. I'm not a this or I'm not a that. I'm a human being. That is what's going to connect you to someone when you're dating. And that's what's going to connect you to someone and allow you to maintain a healthy relationship when your mind frame views the other person. Now, obviously, if you don't get along on many things, then it's not going to work. That I get. But if the percentage of the person is someone who you actually enjoy being with, right? But they go ahead and they say something or do something that your mind views as a wave of water, and your mind starts to fight with it, right? Instead of coming at it with a fist, you can be like water and allow it to pass over you and say, oh, okay, I hear it, I hear it. That's okay. And then you go back to that place of stillness deep within. And it's just like incredible because there are so many parallels between water and human beings, which is what we're really made up of, right? You got hot, you got cold, you got frozen, um, and eventually it can dissipate and go into the air, like our bodies will one day. So what I want to leave you with is this idea that when you truly look at the power of water, what you can wind up doing is taking its concepts and using it to help you when you're dating. And not only when you're dating, to be able to look at those waves and ride them as opposed to fighting them, but you can also, in the relationship itself, say to yourself, oh, okay, I get it now, right? The majority of this relationship is good. If that's indeed the case. If it's not, then hopefully you have the confidence to be able to remove yourself and extricate yourself from that relationship, okay? And that's one of the major concepts of my program, Find the Right One, which we work on that. But assuming that the percentages are good within this relationship and you enjoy yourself, but an issue comes up, which it always does, inevitably life throws you curves. Be like water and attach yourself to that stillness within you, which will ultimately connect you to the stillness within the other person, as opposed to fighting the situation head on. I hope this makes sense. If you have any questions, go ahead and message me and share this with your friends. And have an awesome day. Be like water, my friends.